Hello, tonight what we're going to talk about is the MSS LOCO. It's a locomotive which is very much the same as a Mammoth loco. And when you first get this loco, it runs on these little tablets. I think they're impregnated with something like a methylated spirit, and you light them. That produces the heat to boil the water, to make the steam, to make the loco work. Now the thing is with them, the tablets don't last that long, and you only get a few minutes of actual running, and then it starts to cool down and you lose your steam quite rapidly. So it might run for a few minutes and that's it on a little bit of track. Now I tried that on my garden railway that I was building at the time, and found that the minute it came, it would go up fine on the straight, it ran quite well, but when it came to a curve, it was coming off. So immediately I had done a bit of research, and people said, well, you need to change the wheels or the profile of the wheels. So the actual original wheels are these ones here. They're made like of a Misak type stuff, a bit like the Hornby Free Rail 00 stuff, a bit like that. The profile is not very good. And what was happening, the minute it hit the first curve, which was not that tight, it was just riding up and coming off the track. So whether the flange is not deep enough or whatever, it just didn't ride very well. So I took them off. I did some research, and then I got these wheels. These are produced by a guy called Roy Wood, who's got a website on the internet, and he does lots of stuff, some battery diesels and some very nice steam locos at a very good price actually, considering what I actually spent on this loco. I didn't actually buy it, my son bought it, and I don't think it really kind of performed how he wanted it to, or how he thought it would. So I set to start making it into a better performing loco. So the wheels I fitted, you've got to take it apart to get the wheels in, but it's not that bad. You only need a screwdriver and a few little spanners and things. It's quite easy to work on. Also, Roy Wood on his webpage tells you, if you do buy the wheels, buy the connecting rod as well, because that's all made to go with them, and it all worked really nice. I then dispensed with the actual solid fuel tablets that it came with, and I went to a MEFS burner. I fitted the MEFS burner, and it started running for a lot longer. I didn't like the fact that you had to each time let it cool right down before you could put more water in, because it doesn't take long for the water to turn into steam and to disappear. So then what I bought, there is a valve that you can buy, which is here at the front, and you have like a bottle with a trigger on and a pipe, and you put it down in there, and inside basically it's a bit like a clack type valve. It's got like a ball bearing, and when you press, the pressure from the bottle with the tube on goes through, pushes the ball down and pushes the water into the boiler. So it is possible then to fill the boiler instead of having to take the old safety valve out, which was the way you had to put the water in. Of course, if you take the safety valve out, you're going to release any pressure that's in there, and it's not the safest thing to do, so wouldn't advise that. But buying one of these valves is a good thing. So that was the second thing I did. Then I was still having a few problems with it running, so what I did then, because I'm now increasing the heat with the methylated spirits, it's going to last a lot longer. I did read somewhere that they're soft soldered, the original boilers. So somebody said, well, if I was you, I would get a silver soldered boiler, which I did. It was only about 50 odd pounds. So that was advertised from a guy on eBay, and I purchased that. I don't know, it was around about £50. I was going to make one, but buying a boiler ready made for £50 is not really worth messing about. So I bought the boiler, and I fitted back my filling valve, and I upgraded the safety valve, and at the same time I purchased a from the company that sells a lot of the MSS stuff. They do a regulator. So instead of having the control on the front of the Loco, which on the original doubles up as a regulator and a forward and reverse, that becomes, once you fitted the regulator, just forward and reverse, because it does mean fitting the pipes differently, but it comes with very easy instructions. So you can see from underneath there that goes up inside the middle of the boiler. So basically you blank off inside the dome, you get all the parts to do that, and then your regulator works direct from in between the cylinders at the front on the actual reverser. So you've got now a full-blown reverser, and now you've also got a fully operational regulator on the inside. So that's this bit here. So that is fully adjustable, and it's quite good actually. When you open it a little bit, it will start to go slow, and it will speed up as you open the valve, letting more steam into the cylinders. And of course you can slow it down, so you can actually regulate the speed, whereas the one on the front is a little bit hit and miss. The water gauge, I've still left the same. You can buy a water gauge, but the cab is getting a bit full up now, because I then went another stage further and I converted it to gas. Now these are sold on eBay. They are made for the Mammoth, but of course, because this is more or less exactly the same type of Loco as a Mammoth, it fits on. It's quite easy to fit. You just have to be nice and gentle, fit in the gas burner, which is underneath here. You can see that's the bit where the flame is, and then it goes across, and then there's the ceramic burner. You can't see the ceramic bit because obviously that's up on the inside, but basically you turn the gas on, you fill it via a nozzle which is there. So you can buy the gas filling. The actual company that makes these for the Mammoth sells the filler. You can buy the butane gas from a hardware shop, and that's all the gas I use, and you just push that. You'll know when it's full because the liquid gas will just shoot back out, and then that's enough. And then obviously to open the valve of that, you've just got the tap on the top. I don't know if there's any gas in there. No, that's empty completely. It's been some time since I've run it. There are a few videos on my channel of this running, and it will run quite well actually. Now it's got all these modifications. So it's got a silver solder boiler, runs on gas. It now has a fully working regulator. It has a higher pressure safety valve. Now the original safety valve it comes with, which doubles up as the filler cap for putting the water in, and it also is the safety valve, is set at such a low pressure you're not really going to get a very good operating steam from it. So the uprated one is been set to a higher, and obviously because we can take a bit more heat now because we've got a silver solder boiler, we can keep the water topped up easier now for using the valve at the front. And of course we got the forward and reverse, and in the middle obviously is the neutral, so you've got the two gears, so all working independent. Now the only thing I haven't upgraded, you can do this, is the cylinders, because they're not too bad. Yeah, they leak a bit of steam, but like all steam locos, they're never going to really blow up if you're leaking, because if you're losing steam then they're never going to blow up. I don't think this thing ever would, but theoretically the tank full of gas should run out before the water runs out in the boiler. You'll know it immediately. Most of us tend to put too much water in the boiler. You'll know when you first do it because the water will shoot out all over the place, and obviously you need a little bit of space in there because you need the steam. So you need the water down a little bit, not a lot, but down a bit in order so that you can get the steam in there, because obviously that's what you need to make it go. Now, as you can see at the moment, the back is missing off of it because that tank gets in the way. So I need to do a few modifications to get the back to fit. And also I drilled off the roof in the end. It's held on by rivets. I drilled the rivets out, and I will drill what's left of the rivets out and probably just nut and bolt the roof back on. There is a hole in it because I did have another kind of gas tank on there, but it wasn't that well made, so I bought this one. They're not cheap, the gas boilers and burners, but they are worth doing. So how much has the whole thing cost me? Well, it would have probably been cheaper to have bought one of Roy Wood's Locos, which are very good. But I'd already got this, and I got so far with it. So you get so far, it's a waste of money if you stop. So probably double. I think it was about 250, 260. I think the MSS LOCO standard in the box, and I've spent probably more than that. So probably the best part of 500, just over 5, maybe 550 to get it to a working loco. Well, as any of you know, to get basically a live steam loco in most gauges, £550 is not too bad. You can buy a second-hand one, but the other thing is I have got the fun, and obviously you find out a lot when you strip something down and build it yourself. You work out, you can see how it works. So there's a lot of learning. So what I'll do on the next video is I'll show you the gas going in, the water going in, and we give it a run, and we'll time how long it runs if you want. And it is quite powerful. There is some actual footage on my YouTube channel showing this running. Not completely running for the whole time, because the trouble is when you're running it and trying to film something on your own, it's quite difficult. So I tend to just pick the camera up when the thing is nigh on running out of gas or water or whatever, or both. So yeah, so anyway, that's a converted MSS LOCO. So when you buy it out of the box, well, it's a glorified steam toy. It will run, preferably on a straight piece of track, but if you want to use it to pull some trucks, coaches, which I have done, and it's run quite successfully. Obviously you've got to spend a lot more money on it to get it there, but it will get there. And I don't think they're bad looking locos, to be quite honest. I'm quite happy with it, and I don't regret spending the money on it, because it is a part of my fleet of locos now. So anyway, I'll get back, and next time we'll fill her up with some water and gas, and we'll light her up, and I'll show you running. Okay, thank you very much for now.